I went to her class. Hey, Miss Kaplan, can I start coming and just start hanging out maybe and talking to the kids? And she was like, yeah, that's cool. So I started coming around, and there was this little young kid in there. He had a big old head, you know what I'm saying? And that's how he stood out to me. I'm like, this little dude got a big old head, you know? So I go over there playing with him and stuff, and he had on some shoes that in my opinion, they was kind of raggedy. They was, you know what I'm saying? First day or two, I'm kind of just, checking them out, talking with them. Finally, by about the third time or something, cause I had already made up with my mom, so I'm gonna buy him some shoes, you know what I'm saying? So I finally talked to him, hey man, what size shoe you wear? You know what I'm saying? You want some new shoes? What kind of shoes you want? So he told me his size, and then Miss Kaplan heard me. So we kind of talking about the kind of shoes you want. So Miss Kaplan was like, Joey, come here. Or Joseph, you know what I'm saying? Come here. So she called me over, and she was like, did he tell you about the shoes? I was like, nah, what about him? She's like, well, go over there and talk to him and ask him who his uncle is. You know what I mean? So I go back, and I asked him about the shoes, and asked him who his uncle is. So surprisingly enough, he had an uncle. His name was DeAndre Thomas. Me and DeAndre we was in the same Miss Kaplan's class together. Well, DeAndre got killed. You know what I'm saying? And that was DeAndre's nephew. The shoes that his nephew had on was the last pair of shoes that DeAndre bought him before he got killed. So that's the reason why he was wearing the shoes. So, you know what I mean? That was kind of like one of them things where it was like, I feel like I'm here at the right time. Like, you know what I'm saying? So him and I stayed like pretty close for that year and stuff. And come to find out he had a whole bunch of shoes, but them just the shoes that he, you know what I'm saying? But like that was kind of like the start of me wanting to give back and me feeling like I had a point, you know what I'm saying? So then from there we kind of just grew on it, you know what I mean? Yeah.
On a scale of peaceful and chaotic, where is life for Joy right now?
Can I give like two scales? Can I give a peaceful and a chaotic?
Listen, man.
On the scale of peaceful, I would say probably about a 5.5. You know what I mean? Chaotic, crazy enough, chaotic. I would say, real low, probably about a 3. You know, and that's just the noise that you can't turn off. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
There's a middle to that.
In my opinion, I think chaotic is kind of, in my opinion, I think chaotic is kind of like, again, just that thing you can't control, stuff that happens around you, stuff that, you know, peaceful, I feel like you somewhat got control of that. I think, you know, I've been in chaotic situations where I still found peace, you know what I mean? So as far as my peace level, I'm saying about a 5.5 because sometimes I find myself like, damn, you know what I'm saying, why am I not at peace with things when I know I ain't supposed to be worrying about certain things, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, for anybody that's, you know, whether we're looking at this from the spiritual or the natural, you know, from the natural standpoint, worry or worrying causes stress, causes sickness, causes all these kind of bad, you know, implications. And at the same time, for those that believe, you know, worrying is something that you're just not supposed to do. If you truly believe in prayer, if you truly believe in faith and all that other kind of stuff, you supposed to, what I was always taught is kind of pray about something. It's almost like the old sales pitch, you know, say it and forget it. You know what I mean? It's like one of them kind of things. So, again, that peace, that thing that you can control, and then that chaos being that sometimes that noise that you just can't turn off, you know, trying to overcome those two things.
Yeah, but you weren't. None of us are like just born with that wisdom or even comprehended at a younger age or whatever. So when times were chaotic before you knew how to get to the peace, how were you managing? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I wasn't. life taught me and humbled me about kind of the difference. You know, growing up, man, I had a lot of, I guess, I had a lot of anger. So now I'm going back to the peace side of things, because I guess for me, peace and anger would be kind of like the two, whereas chaos and stillness would be, you know what I mean? So for me, you know, I had a lot of anger. My scale of peace and anger, bro, I was heavy on the anger side. Really just because, so my father, you know, so I'm the youngest of two older brothers. I was 2, my brothers was 4 and 6 when our father was killed. I didn't really know that my father was killed, and prior to like closer to around the age 4 or 5. Around 4 or 5 is when I really understood what my father was killed meant. You know what I mean? Meaning that he's never gonna come back. I'm never gonna get that hug, that smile, that affirmation, that confirmation. I'm never gonna get nothing from that removal. You know what I mean? And that created a lot of anger inside of me. So peace just didn't exist. You know what I mean? And it wasn't until later on in life I realized that the anger, it wasn't at anybody. Like it wasn't. It didn't matter how many hugs, how many pieces of butterscotch one of the old ladies gave me. You know what I mean? How many kisses, how many whoopings, how many anythings I got. You couldn't give me the peace that I was looking for, because I had this whole internal battle going on. Because truth of the matter is, bro, I was angry at God. Like, you know what I mean? I felt like
At 4 or 5.
at 4 or 5.
Okay.
I felt like God had did me wrong. I felt like God had played me. I feel like God was like punishing me for some reason. You know what I mean? And that anger was from 4 or 5 all the way to probably about 14. You know what I mean? It's when I really kind of like had this huge wake up call. You know, but yeah, all that time, man, I would watch certain movies. I remember one movie I used to watch when I was a kid. It always stuck out in my mind. You remember Fievel? The story about the little mouse. You know
That sounds so familiar.
American Tail. I think the American Tail. Yeah, but it was about a little mouse named Fievel. Well, Fievel on American Tales, this movie, how he kind of went on this journey, and somewhere throughout this journey, he lost his pops. Pops, I think he was like floating on a piece of a bar soap or something and got washed away in some kind of flood or whatever. But I just remember the emotion that Fievel had, like, Dad, like, but nothing he could do about it. Pops just gone. Wasn't nothing he could do about it. You know what I mean? And as a kid, I used to watch that, and every time I would watch it, we had this chair in the front room. And I know when my brothers see this, he gonna be laughing, because they would always crack on me. I used to run underneath this chair, and the reason why I would run and hide, because I didn't want nobody to see me crying. You know what I'm saying? Because that part of the movie used to make me cry. But at the same time that it would make me cry, it would make me so mad. You know what I'm saying? But for whatever reason, I don't know if I was traumatizing myself or what, but I still would watch that movie like every day. Some kind of way I would watch that movie with the hopes that the ending gonna change. Like maybe he gonna see his father, maybe he gonna, you know what I mean? But it was just always, and the crazy thing about, I don't even remember the movie in its fullness. Maybe he did connect with his father. Maybe that's the reason why I watched it every day. But whatever the case, that part of it was the part that I would want to see, and then when I would see it, I would remember how it made me feel. You know what I'm saying? And then as I got older, it was other things in life that would like trigger me. You know, if we talking in, you know, today's terms, how, you know, triggers and all these buzzwords. So it would be these things that would trigger me, so yeah, man, trying to find peace in that was a journey, man, because I can remember as a kid, bro, I can remember, you know, locking myself in closets, you know what I'm saying, having suicidal thoughts, you know, mad at everything and everybody, cussing God out, you know what I mean, like using actual curse words, God, da-da-da-da, about you, and da-da-da-da, you don't care about me. You know what I'm saying? You let both my brothers, they got these stories and these memories about Dad, and you didn't let me have none. You know, you let everybody else in the neighborhood tell me about my father. Every time I run across somebody, everybody always talking about how you look just like your dad and you got mannerisms. Everybody else remember him, but God, for some reason, you didn't want me to meet him. You know what I mean? And that used to kind of boy, they used to piss me. They used to throw me off. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, God, like, wow, what for? You know, and then when I was 14, my oldest brother, who just recently passed, he had a stroke. He had an aneurysm, then he had a stroke. After he had a stroke, he fell off into a coma. And when he fell into that coma, he messed around and caught pneumonia and flatlined 3 times. All this happened in a matter of like 30-some days.
When you was 14?
When I was 14. I was 14, he was...
16?
No, he would have been... no, I'm sorry, I might have been 15. And I think he was 19, if not just now turning 20.
Oh, the oldest.
Yeah, the oldest. You know what I mean? And at the time, my brother was, you know, at the age of 20, he was married with 3 kids. You know what I mean? So I had my oldest nephew. He was about 4 or 5 at the time. You know what I mean? And I just remember my brother going through all that. And throughout that time, that's when, without a doubt, that's when I felt like I started having my first encounters with God. You know what I'm saying? What I mean by encounters is I'm having dreams, I'm having visions, I'm having because I've always had conversations. They wasn't the most pleasant conversations, but I've always had these conversations. But around this time, I'm in church more. My mother's, you know, she's introducing us to church more. She's introducing us more so into prophecy, understanding what that means, laying hands, seeing miracles in our faces. She kind of introducing us to that style of church or whatnot. And I can just remember having those dreams and having those thoughts and whatnot. And crazy enough, I just would have this recurring thought and vision and conversation in my mind where I knew my brother was going to be okay. You know what I mean? And I knew that at the time, God just kind of just wanted to just sit my brother down for a season. Just be still, sit down. And me and my brother, we always was real close, man. We got a birthmark in the same area. We got scrapes and cuts and stuff in some of the same area. We just always had these ironies of life where it was like, damn, you too? You know what I'm saying? It was them kind of things, you know, and we was just always real connected. And I remember when he was down, again, I had these visions. And after the second time he flatlined, the doctors and nurses were pretty much like, yo, it's a wrap. Like, he gonna be a vegetable for the rest of his life. There's nothing y'all can really do about it. You know, just kind of, you know, y'all want to pull the plug. So by the third time he flatlined, the doctors and the nurses was like, you know what I mean? Y'all, in so many words, y'all causing more damage than y'all are good, because even if he survives through any of this, he'll be on the machine forever. If he wanted y'all to pull the plug, if he was in pain, if he was in any kind of whatever, he would never communicate it. So y'all might be causing more damage than good. You know, y'all need to make the decision to pull on this plug. And I can remember very vividly, man, we was in the room, my mother, our pastor at the time, Pastor Vicky, and they cleared the room out. You know, there's a bunch of other people in there. They cleared the room out, and they was like, "Nah, we ain't accepting this. You know what I mean? This ain't this God, Lord Jesus. We ain't accepting this." They cleared the room out. I go all the way to the end of the hall. I could hear my mother and my pastor. They in there. I mean, they praying tough. They praying. They speaking in tongues. I mean, the whole hallway can hear them, man. They don't care. They praying. They praying. Praying. You know what I'm saying? So they finally get done. My pastor come out the hall first. I'm all the way at the end. She's all the way at the very end. My brother was in the last room. Somewhere in between was like the guest room for everybody to watch TV and get together with us. So they all the family stuff in there. And I remember she came down, she walked, and she didn't even look that way. She was staring at me, like walking dead at me. And I'm looking at my pastor, and she walked up to me, and she was like, "Joey, you know your brother gonna be okay, don't you?" And I was like, "Yep." She was like, "How do you know?" I said, "Pastor, God told me." And she was like, "Joey, if you keep that faith and if you trust and believe that, it's going to be your will that's going to will your brother back to life." And she said, "And if you just trust and believe that, your brother going to have a testimony just like Jesus did." And whenever my pastor would tell me stuff, I never argued with it. I just trusted him. I was like, "All right, Pastor." Bro, 3 days later, Milk was up writing his name backwards. You know what I'm saying? And just like the story of Jesus, you know, if for those that believe, you know, Jesus died, rose 3 days. My brother was dead. He was dead to the world. You know what I'm saying? 3 days later, he up. He ain't in the best of condition, but he in enough condition to write his name backwards. He had somewhat comprehension. And slowly but surely, I mean, bro, by the time bro finally got out the hospital, came home, he could barely walk on his own. He had to wear a halo. He had to, you know what I mean? It was a long recovery. But there's a lot of people that met my brother within the last 10 years or so that never even knew he spent the day in the hospital. You know what I'm saying? That's how far he came. You know, and I'm saying all that to say that at that time, that's like when I knew, all right, this thing called God is real. Like, I need to, you know what I'm saying? I'm out here talking bad to him. I'm out here talking bad. I'm out here tripping. I need to quit tripping. You know what I'm saying? Because somewhere, somehow, through my brother, because of our closeness, because of our birthmarks in the same spot, scars in the same spot, everything else, I'm like, I don't want to be laying on that bed, you know what I'm saying, for no 30-something days, going through an aneurysm, a stroke, flatlining 3 times, going through pneumonia, having to get a piece of my skull cut out. I don't want to have to go through none of that. You know, and I realized, like, God is real. You know, even to the point where, you know, when my brother came back home, man, we got to take turns washing them up. We got to tighten up the screws in this halo. Bro, that's, I don't know if you ever had to do anything like that, but that's a different kind of, you know what I'm saying, especially to your person that you love. And, you know, that's a different kind of bond or situation. And I remember when he finally kind of, like, got, you know, most of his senses, we was riding. I had to drive him around. And I was like, man, do you remember anything about when you was, like, in your coma or, you know what I'm saying, like, in... He was like, man, Joey, all I remember is, bro, I was just walking with God. You know what I mean? He was like, man, we had a bunch of conversations. We talked about this and that, which, you know, some of those conversations is this stuff I hold dear to my heart, you know, but he told me a lot about what he talked through and talked about. And he was like, man, I kept having these visions, man, that everybody was just praying for me, you know what I'm saying? And I'm listening to him like, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? And then he kind of confirmed some stuff to me that, you know, because I never did per se get a chance to tell him, like, man, you know, Pastor told me that if I just trust and believe in the will of it, I never got a chance to really tell him from that perspective. But hearing him say it was like confirmation enough for me, like, yeah, Joey, this thing called God is real. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to, and that's when I went from that scale of anger to peace. And realizing, like, in the midst of whatever chaos and turmoil, you got to find that stillness and that peace got to meet some kind of way, you know what I mean? And you can control this part. I couldn't control my brother was going. I couldn't control, you know, but I can control what I'm trying to emotionally go through. And I had to dig deep for that peace. I had to dig deep for peace. I had to dig deep for forgiveness. I had to forgive myself. You know what I mean? I had to forgive a lot of other stuff. And just kind of operate through it, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
During that time when you was asking them the question, because I'm sure as a person who's been fighting with God since 4 or 5 years old, your brother tell you have an encounter with him, you wonder, man, what he look like?
Yeah.
Otter?
Yeah, I asked him that. And he was just, he's like, Joey was just bright.
Just bright.
You know what I'm saying? He was like, it wasn't, you couldn't physically recognize him. It was an internal understanding. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm with something that I've never experienced before. I know I'm with something that has a complete covering over me. I know I'm with something that I wish this could last forever. You know what I'm saying? Because he even told me about that, about how he kind of, it was a somewhat struggle of, do I go with the continuation of peace or do I come back to, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
And he chose to
Yeah, he
come
chose. You know
back.
what I'm saying? Chose to kind of come back and, you know what I mean?
Do that make you wonder, do everybody go through that? Like, do they have that choice of, like, go with peace, continuous peace, or you just, hey, I want to come back and be with my family. I'll get back to you later, God.
Personally, I think that for those that get to experience that are fortunate. You know, I've never experienced it, but I know somebody that did, and I know somebody that a lot of what he tells me shaped and changed my life a lot to where I didn't have to go that far to experience it.
Yeah.
If my brother told me this stove was hot, then I don't need to touch it like that. But that was him and I, you know, some understanding. And everybody don't get that opportunity. You know what I mean? So to answer your question, I don't know if everybody get that. You know, me and I got an uncle named Reggie. We always laugh about it because he was like, boy, it's a lot of people out in this world that just don't know that at one moment they gonna close their eyes and the next moment they gonna wake up in a whole nother galaxy, whole nother, you know what I'm saying, situation, and you know, and it just might be too late to do what you thought you had time to do. You know what I mean? And we laugh and joke because he be like, boy, they gonna wake up like, you know, like, so we laugh and joke. But the truth is that, you know, if the stories be true, that's kind of how it's gonna happen. You know, you gonna close your eyes and you gonna wake up in a whole nother planet, galaxy, world, whatever you want to call it, and so everything you think that you can, you know what I'm saying, like, shit, it's a wrap on that. You know, so yeah. So again, a lot of that kind of mentality, a lot of that kind of mindset, bro. It like I need to get my stuff together. I need to quit tripping. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm tripping with myself. I'm tripping with my family. I'm tripping with my loved ones. Can't nobody get through to me. Can't nobody reach out to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm mad. I'm pissed. I'm angry. And there ain't nothing nobody can do about it. You can't give me back what I'm missing. You know what I'm saying? And I had to overcome that. You know what I'm saying?
That movie for me was Lion King. You talking about, and my pops is still here, but just knowing who my pops is to me, like his pops was him king or whatever.
Yeah.
Just seeing him die and there was nothing he could do about it or whatever. So when you say the mouse seeing his dad, that remind you of that was Lion King for me. That made me cry like that. Cause I said I couldn't imagine. Yeah. I couldn't imagine. When you were going to church at first, though, there had to be some rebellion, though, because you were fighting with God. So how did they get you to even go?
So my church life has been kind of originally. So I had a great grandpa who helped raise us. You know what I mean? Again, Pop's gone by the age of 2. You know, we had uncles and stuff around. Without a doubt, one of my Uncle Mel, he's always been there when we was younger. But my great grandpa, I just kind of gravitated towards him. He was a preacher. He was a minister. He had a church called Second Missionary Baptist Church on the corner of 43rd and Jackson. They tore the building down not too long ago, but that was his church. He lived on 42nd and Bell Fountain, you know what I mean? So when it came to like community and community churching and community leadership, that was my example. And then it was like, he was that as a man, but also he believed in God. So I used to watch him from the man side and from the God-led man side. And there would sometimes be a conflict of interest where it's like, you know, okay, well, this Bible said da. But how come I'm going through, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Versus, you know what I'm saying, well, this man is showing me this and that and the third, and maybe I can overcome. So it would always be that. And because like crazy enough, bro, when I was a kid, my questions I used to always ask I call him grandpa, or we call him Papa, you know what I mean? But he was my great grandpa. I would always say, hey, Papa, when I turn this age, what should I expect in life? Hey, Papa, when I turn 21, what should I become in life? Hey, Papa, when I'm do this, what should I be wanting? Like, I always wanted to know what was waiting on me on the other side of the finish line. I'm okay with running this race, but what was gonna be there waiting on me, Papa? You know what I mean? And he would always talk to me from that perspective. You know what I'm saying? Joey, when you overcome something, this is what's gonna be here. So it would, to me, I always treated that as wisdom. You know, I always felt like, to me, wisdom was understanding what's there. It ain't understanding how to get there. Understanding how to get there is more so learned wisdom. It's your own journey. But once you cross that, this is kind of what me and these other people can agree on. This is kind of, you know, so I was always curious to know about that, man. And as far as church, like I said, we grew up in a church home underneath my great grandpa. So we wasn't necessarily preacher kids, but we was kids of the preacher. You feel me? Like, and then from that phase, we then jumped into another church home, because my grandpa, he was more Baptist. You know, we looking through the hymn book, singing, and it was that kind of thing. We go from that style of church my mother introduced us to this lady, Pastor Vicky, lady who prayed for my brother. That was more so evangelist, non-denominational, speaking in tongues, putting the oil on, laying hands, doing stuff where some people would be like, man, what is going on? You know, so like if you wasn't familiar with that style of church, you walk in, you'll see somebody running 10 laps around the church speaking in tongues, and you like, man, nah, this can't be, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are they doing? But, and there was some stuff that I still had even a question on that, you know, because I've never talked and spoken tongues. I've never, but I have, like, without a doubt, felt God, and you know what I'm saying, throughout my life from my pastor. She has prophesied. She's told me things about stuff that came to pass years later, and so I know all that part of it's real. And then after I did that phase, I went through a big phase where I just didn't go to church. I was trying to discover myself, trying to find myself. And without a doubt, like, bro, I was like heavily tapped into the world, because at some point in my mind, it was kind of me making myself believe that it's me making stuff happen. You know what I mean? It's me that's getting me up in the morning. It's me that's making me go to work. It's me that's getting me paid. It's me that's, you know what I'm saying? So I went through that phase, and now I'm kind of going through a phase in my life now where, especially with children, like my kids think I'm a superhero. You know what I'm saying? They think I can lift cars and jump from building to building. You know what I mean? And I be having to remind myself, like, Joe, you need to show these kids that even you submit to something. Like it's a power stronger than you that helps you do this stuff that's able to do for them. So I'm at that phase of my life when it comes to church. You know, I'm a member over at Second Baptist Church off 39th Street, and I'm trying my best to introduce my kids to God. You know, and at the very least, just get a relationship with them. For whatever it's gonna turn out, just get a relationship with God, children. You know what I'm saying? Because what y'all gonna do if Daddy gone tomorrow? You know what I'm saying? Like, what y'all gonna do then? So that's kind of like my little. That's my 4 seasons or 4 phases or whatnot of when it comes to God. You know what I mean?
Going back to anger you had, how did that look like towards other children around your age and in school with the teachers and
with the other kids, I would say majority I had a pretty good poker face. You know, with some I didn't. You know, elementary school I got in trouble a lot, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, first time I got suspended in elementary school, I was in 3rd grade for fighting a teacher. In my mind, I swear to God, I could just whoop the teacher. You know what I mean? That's their rage. I probably fought just about every chance I could get. You know, but then again, some of my best friends was because of fights. You know what I mean? Moody was one of my closest friends growing up. You know what I'm saying? Me and Moody fought every chance we could fight, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, we was right back cool every chance we could, you know what I'm saying, get back cool. Kevin Martin, Antoine, I mean, a lot of my partners, man, like, you know, for me, fighting was like, it was my way to just express myself, you know what I'm saying? I had another homie on the block, man. His name was Hoppy, man. Me and Hoppy, man, Jesus Christ, we'll fight 2 or 3 times a day. You know, just because it was me. I was the one that was tripping. Like, in my mind, I would fight anybody, and somewhere in my mind, I didn't care if I win or lost. I just wanted to fight. I just had this rage, this anger built up inside of me, man. I was just getting in trouble for no reason, you know. And then I just, you know, like I said, I had to humble myself, bro. Like, I just really had to humble myself, you know, and through it was other various things that humbled me as well throughout the journey. But that 15-year-old mark, that me seeing my brother laid up with tubes everywhere, that was the one that just really just tipped it over for me. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't no saint afterwards, but that's the one that really like woke me up. Like, all right. You know what I'm saying? God is real. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
You talked about how many kids you got?
I got 3 daughters.
Yeah.
6, 8, and 12.
I seen one was dressed up like you for Halloween.
Yeah.
And you say they look at you like a hero.
Yeah.
Every hero, I believe, and every hero has some villain in them. Mm-hmm. Every villain has some hero in them. Mm-hmm. If not, majority swung the other way on both sides. when you see her dressed up like that, as you, yes, it's flattering or whatever, but do you look at it and be like, she look a little too much like me? Mm-hmm. Does it scare you any?
It scared me all the time. It scared me. First of all, it scared me that I got 3 daughters. That's the first thing first. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because all 3 times, me and we didn't want to know what we were having. It was a surprise. So out of my mouth, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have a son. But in my heart, I'm like, man, I know that. I just knew I was going. You know what I'm saying? And Joy, my oldest one, I just remember when they pulled her out. Doctor held her up by her legs, like, all right, Daddy, look down. Tell us what you got. I looked. I was like, damn. You know what I'm saying? But you know, kind of just roll with it, man. So yeah, that's first thing first. Having daughters is scary.
Scary.
You know what I mean? Having 3 of them is scary times 3. So, you know, that's first thing first. Second thing is, you know, I'm always asking myself and hard on myself, like, damn, am I doing the right thing? You know what I'm saying? Am I doing the right thing? Am I making the right decisions? Am I being the right kind of man? Me and all my children, you know what I'm saying, we're not married. You know what I'm saying? Like, am I doing the right thing there? You feel me? Like, and my daughters, they at that age now where she just asked me, I think just last night, put her hand on my shoulder. Dad, when you gonna propose to my mama? You know what I'm saying? Hit me with that. Joy, what you want to eat? I thought we better get something to eat. You know what I'm saying? So it's, you know, operating through all that kind of stuff, cause she's obviously paying attention. You know, do I want her to settle? Do I want her to be in a, you know, saying a happy marriage relationship? Of course I do. You know what I mean? But Dad ain't. You know what I'm saying? Dad, how you gonna tell me to do something you ain't doing? So that's a struggle. You know what I'm saying? That's a struggle, man. But I know without a doubt, man, them girls, Daddy, you they first example of what a man's supposed to be, a boyfriend's supposed to be, everything else. So now we're going back to that peace and anger, that chaos, and still, you know what I'm saying? Like struggling with all that, getting these things in line because, you know, some things I can control, some things I can't. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Because what if that's a sign? Mm-hmm. That's a like quick sign that you didn't even pay attention to. I'm telling you, boy, she looked dead on like you with the video. Was that quick sign? Hey, if you don't fix these certain things, she gonna look too much like you. You don't want her to go through what you done went through, right?
I didn't even think about it from that perspective.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what do we have to get in order for her to look better than I do?
That's interesting. Thank you. Because I really didn't even see it from that perspective, but that's, I didn't even think about it from that perspective. No, man.
Because when what we don't know is a lot of times, we be having daddy's girls or whatever, but they truly, I find from my daughters, even though they may not look dead on like me, they truly love to look like me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I think if it's not coming on the outside, it's what we got what we're giving them on the inside. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So what are you presenting them to where you're gonna be like, they're gonna be all right? Right. Because they ain't gotta take this from me. Right. They ain't gotta, they're gonna go through whatever they go through, but they won't have to deal with this right here. Yeah. Because they're as nasty as I am with this right here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like I said. That's a constant battle, man. You know, somewhere in my mind, I would like to believe that I'm trying to make all the best financial decisions. I'm trying to make sure that they financially set for the future. But the truth is, the way that my children are, it might change 20, 30 years from now. But right now, money ain't important to them. You know what I'm saying? Like. Even my daughter at the age of 12, we kind of get into that part now where, Dad, I like Jordans, but for the most part, hey baby, you know what I'm saying? Hey, Christmas coming up this year, stuff kind of tight, Joy. You know what I'm saying? Ain't gonna be no bunch of gifts on the Christmas tree. We working on woo. Daddy, that's okay. I wanted a bunch of stuff, but just 2 big main things I want. I just want some Robux. Credits or dollars or whatever, right. And something else she named. You know what I'm saying? Like but she hits me with the kind of statements like, Daddy, I'd be happy if we get this, because Christmas ain't supposed to be about that. Christmas is supposed to be about family and love, and you feel me? So it's like, you know, I'm very fortunate in that my younger two, as long as they got some shoes with some glitter or some lights on whenever they make a step, or they got some wheelies or something like, which I don't even know how they got into wheelies, but as long as they got something pretty and colorful, we good. They just want to laugh and play and be loved. And I got one daughter, she laugh and play all day long, and it don't matter what's going on around her, she gonna find that peace, you know what I'm saying, to laugh and play and joke all day long. And even their mother, you know what I'm saying, Tasha, nothing but love and kudos to her, because Tasha's not like that. Money and material and gotta be in name brand, this, that, and the third. Nah, you know what I'm saying? Like, even back when, in our fun days, in our, you know what I'm saying, dating and courting days, we would go out to eat somewhere and she pulling out her phone, looking up Groupon, trying to see how she can save me money. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, so in those areas, cool, but in other areas, we struggle. And
What you mean? What you mean?
I mean,
in other areas, what you mean?
We ain't married. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm still now you got my mind kind of scrambling and thinking about what you were saying about how, you know, damn, Joy, your daughter looking just like you. How you know that's not a sign of, you know. And then on top of that, we took the picture in the mirror, so it was like, you know what I'm saying?
Hella.
You in here preaching right now, man. So you got my mind over here doing all kind of laps. Yeah, man. Yeah. What's the next question?
Man, lesson, change. That sound familiar to you?
Lesson, change.
Man, lesson,
yep.
change.
Yeah.
Where that come from?
So the crossword puzzle said, look, the first three words is what's I think it said something like what you're going through in life or something like that. And I usually don't do a lot of Facebook games, but when I did that one, I was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? And it was in that order. It was man, lessons, change. To me, what that spoke to me was, man, being in the natural, you know what I'm saying, in the flesh, in the who you are and what you accept, you know what I mean? It made me thinking about that. Lessons, you know.
Before you go there, can you break down the man a little more?
Okay.
As far as like who you are and what you accept, what that means to you, and then break each level down for us.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
So for me, when it comes to the man, man is two parts. I feel like it was speaking to me about the man that I'm trying to become and the man that I must leave behind. You know, the man that I'm wanting to become, if you was to ask me, I want to become this man who is fully operating in God's will over my life. Like I said, I done spent a lot of time in my life, man, where it's like where I wanted to be in charge. I wanted to be in control. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to, every single step, I wanted to, I don't want to take no steps that cause me to, you know, to make too much of a sacrifice. I don't want to take no steps that's gonna cause me to make too much of a change. I'm cool with where I'm at. I don't, you know what I'm saying? However, I know where I'm trying to get at life. I gotta shed, you know what I'm saying? I gotta shed some old skin. Shedding that old skin sometimes is hard. You know what I mean? Shedding that old skin for me looks like don't entertain certain conversations. You know what I mean? Don't be in certain environments. You know what I mean? Joey, why are you still up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning when you need to be getting some rest? Because you got a extremely productive day that you need to embark on. Are you fully prepared for it? A whole lot of other stuff. You know, are you willing to leave the man that you are right now, that you're so comfortable with and proud of and everything, are you willing to leave that person behind to become this new man that I know be tickering away at the back of my mind? Like you know what I mean? It be like little things that just tickering at me, like, you know, why am I still scrolling on Facebook? Hell, why am I still looking at big booty here and there? You know what I'm saying? Why am I still entertaining people that I know don't mean me no good, that's draining and pulling from my life? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you still entertaining that? Why you be a little bit more selfish with yourself and with your blessings? Meaning, like, because I've always been this guy, man, who, you know, I don't know if I necessarily, like, pride myself on it or felt obligated to do so, but I've never had an issue with putting others ahead of me. I've never had an issue with building a platform so that others can shine. I ain't never, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I love to do, man. You know what I'm saying? Some kind of plug come, I'm calling you. Hey, bro, I got a plug on, where man, I go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never had, but it's like, if I'm okay with doing that with all these strangers and people that prove to me time after time again that all they want to do is just take and not replenish, then Joey, go do that with your family, man. Go do that with something that's gonna have a more beneficial long-term payoff. You know what I'm saying? Like, so stepping into that new level of man, you know, even like, you know, my brother, he's gone. Looking at my nieces and nephews and the shoes per se that needs to be filled from that aspect, you know, him being the oldest. And I still got another older brother, so I'm not taking them away from my big brother. You know what I mean? But just stepping up a lot more, making sure that I can be that uncle that's dependable, making sure I can be that dad that's dependable, making sure I can be that man that's dependable, that if anybody needs something, we good. It's time for me to step into those, you know, those new arenas. Lessons. Man, you know what I'm saying? Lessons, man, you know what I mean? So many lessons, you know, from child to teenager to adult, you know what I'm saying? Just so many lessons, bro. You know, and I don't want this to sound like some kind of pity party, man, but I mean, I've spent a great amount of my career, I spent a great amount of my adulthood, a great amount of my, you know, business experience, honestly being stabbed in the back. You know what I mean? Like, and even while being stabbed in the back, I'm still like taking knives out, cleaning them off. Like, bro, here go a knife, man. Throw it that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, still doing that. Still trusting, wanting to trust and believe that if I give you this opportunity, if I give you this chance, I know you ain't gonna stay. And it still come back around. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, Joey, who you mad at now? You know what I'm saying? You mad at... Are you really mad at the snake because the snake bit you? Or are you mad at the snake because you thought it could be a pet? Like, you know, that kind of thing. You know, and shit, change. Change is what we all need. Change is what, you know what I'm saying? Change is what we supposed to be living for, supposed to be hoping for. You know, so for me, change means, Joey, change your ways and change your filthy ways, change your irresponsible ways, change your procrastinating way. Like change a lot, because I got a lot of stuff that I drag around, you know. And I'm ready for that next season, bro. I'm ready for the new season. You know what I mean? I'm ready. You know, Drake had that song "No New Friends." I thought that was the dumbest song I ever heard. Like, I thought it was the dumbest metaphor. Yeah, well, not song. I'm sorry about that. Not song. I thought it was the dumbest metaphor I ever heard.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, I need new friends. You know what I'm saying? I welcome new friends, new opportunities, new circumstances. You know what I'm saying? I welcome all that, especially if it's gonna be a blessing and positivity to my life. You know. So yeah, so change. I've been getting the same results lately, and what they say about insanity is doing the same thing twice. You know what I'm saying? So I'm ready to change. I'm ready to do some different stuff and see some different stuff, man. So, man, lessons change.
Yeah, I was an idiot. I used to hear that song and be like, yeah, no new friends. Mm-hmm. it's funny that you brought that song up because I kind of use that all the time when I tell people how much of an idiot I was now that I'm in a season where I'm inviting new friends and inviting new people and seeing the effect that have on my life and the effect I was supposed to have on people's life. You know, so I was so closed off to people.
Yeah.
You know, so it was funny you brought that that song up. You talk about, I heard you say the snake using it, you treated the snake as a pet or whatever you said before that, but I didn't hear you say, Joey, you keep giving them opportunity. It's Joey's fault for doing it. It's not the snake's fault for being the snake. It's Joey's fault for keep on doing it. It's damn near like we get caught up in comfortable. And you ever ask a woman like, why you keep going back to that nigga?
Yeah.
Like he keep doing the same thing or whatever. It's because it's you damn near feel secure doing that kind of stuff for him. And you talk about you need to be more selfish. That's what you need to be more selfish toward. Because I think us being so unselfish is super selfish, if that makes sense to you. Because if I'm steady giving all my time to you and pouring everything into you and there's no reciprocation, I cannot move on in purpose with what I'm supposed to do. I can't give the energy to the people or the things I need to be putting it towards. And a lot of times I'm like blocking what's in my favor out for stuff that's not in my favor, just because I want to be loyal to you, just because I want you to always be able to say I was loyal. But it always turns back on you because they, you know, that first thing, that thing when they say the first time you say no, it's like you never say yes.
Yeah.
They act like you've never done anything for them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I want to mess with you a little bit though, cause how long you been with your woman?
Man, you don't give me the line. 15, about 15 years. Yeah.
She care about marriage?
Yeah, she care about it. Yeah, she care about it.
We talk about procrastination.
Yeah.
Boy, you running? Or you
Yeah,
scared of marriage?
I'm a running dog. You know what I'm saying? I'm a running dog. And I'm saying a running dog
But
because
you
I'm
running
running.
in place.
Either that or circles, one or two. You know what I mean? Like
What's in circles?
coming back to the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Not elevating. Like, I'm open when I've even expressed this to her. At this point in life, it ain't her, it's me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's me. You know what I mean? And I know it's me. I know it's me that's saying, nah, I don't want to get married. You know what I'm saying? It's me that's saying, nah, it's these reasons that. Now, don't get me wrong, she ain't perfect. Not by far, you know what I'm saying? But somewhere in my mind, you know, I'm thinking that it is something else. It is something better. It is something new. You know what I'm saying? But even if they do fall in any of those categories, don't none of that necessarily promise longevity. Don't none of that promise, you know, equally yoked. You know what I mean? So, you know, without a doubt, I know I struggle with that. You know what I mean? And I'm not the kind of person like I don't like making excuses, so I don't ever try to sound like I'm giving one. You know, and I take whatever comes my way. I just take whatever comes my way. But it's in that marriage thing, a part of, I think, what I'm scared of is that part of completion and failure. You know what I mean? I've always said that. I was like, man, I don't want to be that dude sitting in church, you know, in front of my family, my wife's family, and God, telling a bunch of lies.
Yeah.
Talking about till death do us part and for the rest of my life and sickness and health and, you know, like I just don't want to be that guy. Then her and I will get into it and I get to looking at her like, do I really want to argue with you every single day for the, you know what I'm saying? But I know it's a lot more to it than just that. At least I'm learning that it's a lot more to it than just that, you know? So, you know, in the right season, in the right time, you know what I mean? But right now, Joey need to get his act together. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I got to get my act together.
Why do you feel like y'all argue, though? Instead of, 'cause, I mean, I've said this a few times. Sorry to sound like a broken record.
Oh, you good?
I heard somebody say this, and I always kept it with me, so I try not to argue with Miko as much as possible. And we really don't argue. And in an argument, there's winners and losers. Mm-hmm. Why would you want anybody on your team to lose? How I see it, there's no winner at all, though. Because we don't grow if we're arguing. I can't hear nothing you saying, and you don't hear nothing I'm saying. So there's no understanding coming across. But if we just speak and communicate with each other, we may not agree, but we can understand and move forward and grow.
Yeah.
So I challenge you to put that on your, like, just think about that before you arguing with anybody in life. Like, we're not gonna get nowhere arguing. Somebody else said, I don't like to wrestle with pigs because we both get muddy and the pigs like it. I don't like to. So some people just like to argue and like to go down that road. I don't like to because it don't get us nowhere, you know. So I challenge you to, like, think about that before y'all arguing. Like, I mean, just sometimes it takes the man to just, we ain't gonna do that no more. Not even like you telling her, like, we ain't gonna do that no more. She gonna see we ain't gonna do that no more. The way we talking to each other or whatever. Sometimes you just gotta listen, hear them out. You're missing some things sometimes that you ain't even, like, catching. Like, she probably been. You ever listen to a Pac song? Now that you older,
Yeah, it's
like,
way different than
like, damn, he been talking to me. I was showing that off. You know what I'm saying? Now that I'm actually listening to it, so I don't know. I just feel like me and Miko have worked much better since I stopped trying to win an argument.
Right.
No, and that made me. You know, marriage is hard, but the challenge of it is, like, so much. Is, you know how basketball is hard when you're going against a tough opponent, but once you win, it feels so much better because you done went through a lot. So that works for me. That works for us.
And I don't necessarily know if it's past trauma effects. I remember when I was a kid, man, my mother used to, she used to have this little thing on the kitchen. It was like, it was a saying, and it used to say, love like bread. I think it was love, comma, like bread, comma, must be made fresh daily. And I remember as a kid, I used to sit there and read that thing over and over again. I used to just sit there and read. But to the point you making about the Pac song, you know what I'm saying? You know, when I was a kid, I read it just because it was hanging. But as an adult, I see it differently. You know what I'm saying? Love, comma, like bread, comma, must be made fresh daily. You know, and I'm like, damn, you know what I'm saying? So then, as I get older, you know, I realized that her and I we got a lot of past traumatic, like, issues. Like, we got a whole lot of stuff that in her life she hasn't forgiven yet, and I haven't forgiven. And it's a lot of stuff that happened before her and I even knew each other that are still issues now in today's time that, you know what I mean? And you know, I try to kind of lean into her a little bit about that a little bit, you know what I mean? Like, you know, it ain't so much about making the physical love, it's just about, like, you know, this love should be new and fresh. And I try to tell her what I read and show her this, but we didn't necessarily connect immediately, you know. And then somewhere inside of me, I know without a doubt, me having 3 daughters, bro, it, like, woke me up because I never knew that I could love something more every single day than I loved it the day before until I had children. I didn't even know that existed. I did not know that the whatever it is existing inside of me that can make me say, man, I love my kids. Like, I love them dearly, but then tomorrow comes, I'm like, damn, I love them even more today than I love them yesterday. I didn't know that existed. You know, and how do you have that kind of love in a marriage? I know I got to tap into that. You know, I talk to married friends, and hell, I even ask you, like, you been married, you love your wife more every single day than you loved her the day before?
Nah, I do.
That's heavy.
And that's because I realize I don't know. I don't know her, what she is today. I knew I figured it out yesterday,
Right.
or may not. But today, there's a new thing I gotta learn or whatever. I don't act like I know what she's going through. I don't act like I know how to love her. And that right there is a challenge for me. Like we think we know somebody all the time, so we just move like we know what's going on. If that makes sense to you.
Yeah, it make a whole lot of sense. Cause I'm trying to tap into that. I really am, you know. And man, lessons change, you know what I'm saying?
Just think about it though, man. Like, it's so easy to hit these women. Just women out here. Like, it's so easy to just get something and hit it, and then it's like like I said, the challenge of keeping somebody loving you and liking you. Think about that. Somebody wants to deal with you for the rest of your life, for the rest of your life, for the rest of her life. You don't want to do the same exercise for the rest of your life without you're not going to do that without getting bored. So how can I keep you from getting bored with me? That's a challenge. And if I could keep you like that, interested in me, I think that's dope. Like I said, like I can keep a girl interested in me for 2 or 3 days. I ain't got no commitment to you.
Yeah.
You know?
Honeymoon, yeah.
Miko said something to me yesterday too while we was riding back from the Funny Marco. So she was like, she was just talking about the importance of getting married, that a part that I never ever thought about, or whatever, getting married, I mean, that I never ever thought about. When you die, that lady or that other has to go through fighting with your family because they don't have the rights to your body or figuring out what to do with your body. And maybe you told them how you want it, but that family ain't listening to that. That wasn't your husband.
Right.
That's my son. That's my brother. That's my, you know what I'm saying? So I said, I ain't never even thought about that. The importance of signing those papers with somebody that you truly rock with. Another thing, why, if y'all been together 15 years, and I'm not trying to push nobody to get married, but I'm questioning it. If y'all been together 15 years, what's the point of staying and there's nothing?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So there got to be something there that you trust or something there that you feel secure about, right?
Yeah. So I made a big mistake by answering that question to her one time because I thought we was on the same page. You know, in me, so her and I, we got kind of like somewhat of a similar upbringing. Her father died 11 days before she was born. You know what I mean? Whereas my father died when I was 2. Both of us grew up. I can't tell you, I don't remember a smile, laugh, giggle, touch, smell. I don't remember nothing about my father. You know what I mean? She never had the opportunity either. So fast forward all these years later, we got these kids together. You know, for me, the nucleus was always the opportunity of them experiencing 2 parents, the dad here is present type thing, right? So one time we went out to eat by some relatives of ours, and the question was asked, just that, you know, well, damn, you know, y'all got a hell of a laundry list about, you know, what y'all don't like about each other and da-da-da, but y'all got a small list about what y'all like about each other, but what keeps y'all connected? What keeps y'all, you know what I'm saying? I was like, shit, I go first. Like, my answer was simple because I'm thinking we on the same. I'm like, yeah, all right, Joey, go ahead and say it. I said, the kids. Like, that was boom. Like, so when I said that, she kind of gave me this look like she was just like devastated, like, damn.
That's hurtful.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking back confused, like, what's the issue? She was like, the kids. In my mind, I'm still like, what did I say wrong this time? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like,
just being
every time I say something wrong, but what did I say wrong this time? You know? So I was like, well, Ty, what's your answer? She was like, I'm still dealing with you because I love you. And in my mind somewhere, I'm thinking like, well, I didn't say I don't love you. I'm like, but are you telling me that you love me? You like, so these language barriers that we got. But I was hoping that in that setting, she would have said, well, Joey, tell me, why is that your answer? And I was hoping to have the opportunity for her to say, or for me to, well, Tasha, why is that your? I was hoping that, but the emotional part of it had already took over. It was, this nigga just said he only like me or love me because we got kids together, and I said because I love him, but we didn't get a chance to dive into that, and it wasn't until like months later, I think I had to kind of force myself to say, hey, ask me for my explanation, you know what I'm saying? And then when it was finally talked about, my explanation to her was, I was like, Tasha, I thought that we experienced the same thing about, say our fathers, and I thought that we had this huge, like, whatever we want to call it, about the fact of, dad being here for our girls, and that's something that we want to really hold on to and build on, this and that third. And in so many words, she kind of like, learned me a little bit, and she like, in so many words, it was like, saying, Joey, the girls got a dad that's already given, like, it's the you and I part that's still missing. We can't live our life because for these girls, and so it was a learning lesson. So, but it was kind of like you said, like that analogy about the Tupac thing. It's like, I'm hearing you now. I'm hearing you, like, what you really saying to me is like, damn, Joey, when am I gonna get love? You know what I'm saying? When am I gonna be loved? When are you, Joey, you're a good dad. You know what I'm saying? Cool, that's that category. But when are you gonna become my partner? I didn't hear none of that back then. I heard it, like, a month later. Back then, I didn't even think none of that was, the possibility. I just, so taking that and growing from it, you know what I mean? Like, growing up a little bit, man, lessons change, you know what I'm saying?
Man, lessons change. That might be the name of it. Cause think about it. Yeah. If you base it on the kids, once they out of the house, what we got left? It's kind of like your foundation of your relationship being sex. Well, if you knock that out, what do we have left? There's no spiritual connection. There's no intellectual connection. No social. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nothing.
So you understand now why they hurt her.
I understand way differently now.
Yeah.
Like I said, back then, a couple years ago, I didn't get it. You know what I mean? But then again, to your point, I had to like force myself to listen.
Yeah.
Cause I was upset and felt some kind of way emotionally because I'm like, why is she not hearing me? You know what I'm saying? And she like, not only, Joey, why are you not hearing me? But how come you still don't accept me? It been all this time, all these years, all these different women, all this up and down, me following you, me listening to you, me, you know what I'm saying? And you still ain't chose me? You gonna choose the kids? I had to hear myself out, you see what I'm saying? And when I heard myself out, I had to give benefit to the doubt. You know what I mean? I had to give some type of elasticity. You know what I mean? And that's and even me admitting to that is, you know what I'm saying, that's a lot out of me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, at the end of the day, you know what I mean, I know Tasha's a excellent woman. She's a great woman. You know, so I tell her all the time, you excellent woman to these kids, excellent mother to our children. It's the me and you part sometimes that get rocky. You know what I'm saying? It's the, like, where is our friendship? You know what I'm saying? How come I can't crack jokes and you laugh at them? Because some of my jokes be pretty funny, you know what I'm saying? She be like, And I'm like, how come you can't laugh at some of my jokes? How come you can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? And it's that, I had read somewhere, dude was like, it was a Facebook meme, because I don't be following a lot, but this one made sense. It said something to the degree of, if you want your woman to, either if you want your woman to appreciate you or if you want your woman to submit to you, you got to take her out of survival mode. You know what I mean? It said something to that degree. You know what I mean? And when I saw it, I was like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I know without a doubt, man, I mean, shit, mine been in survival mode because day to day is, well, Joey, you know, I ain't your wife, I ain't your woman, I ain't your girlfriend, I ain't who you da-da-da-da, you entertaining all this and that, but you want me to do what again? You know what I'm saying? So she in survival mode. You know what I'm saying? I gotta take her out of survival mode so she can start laughing at my jokes, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's all. But she is your main. She's not your girl. I thought she was your girl. That's
I mean,
what I thought.
hey,
My bad.
15 years later, bro, Tasha, what the hell I need a title for?
girl.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you know, again, this is my perception, you know what I'm saying? Tasha, do I really need a title? Do you really, you know what I'm saying? But that's me talking about it. Because I'm kind of like, if you ain't wife, it's either wife or nothing else. Like, it just kind of sound kind of stupid 15 years later. Saying, yeah, it's my girlfriend, yeah. Hey, let me introduce you to my girlfriend for 15 years.
Woman.
Yeah, or my woman.
That sounds silly to you, my woman. Girlfriend, a little silly, but
I think women sound better if I got a ring on.
Yeah.
I can call her anything. Then I's married. Now, you know, I can.
I's married.
Yeah, I can. I think any name is acceptable for them, but even calling her my girl, calling her anything, that still don't give you wife privileges, and vice versa.
Yeah.
You can call me whatever name you give me. Title, what title you want to give me? Husband? I mean, boyfriend, guy, man. Is that gonna make you like? Because again, she's no saint, and I ain't either. But again, when you introduce me as that person and give me that title, is that gonna make you make the decisions that a wife would make? Is that gonna make you make the, you know what I'm saying? Is that gonna make you give me the feedback or the respect that a husband deserves? Because if we ain't husband and wife, in my opinion, I feel like we kind of BS, and I feel like, and that takes us back around to that, you know, accept me, and I'm like, shit. So yeah.
There's definitely work that needs to be done before marriage. You ever been to a comedy show or seen a comedy show where the comedian is telling a joke? Pretty funny comedian too. You know, they think the joke is funny. The person they talking about don't think the joke is funny. And not saying you talking about her, but you being funny, but she feel like she the joke in a relationship because you don't take her serious. Yeah. That's what women be feeling like, you know, and same thing, vice versa. Like men be feeling that same way too, like we're not being taken serious. Right. Y'all ever did therapy together?
Yeah, we tried therapy several times. I remember one time, we had, bro. We went to a lot of therapy. We went to one. I remember like the first one that we ever really took serious. It was at her church at the time, so she called me up. You know, so I go there because at this time, you know, so she got her own spot, you know, her and my daughter and stuff. And I got my own spot. And so we go. And when we get there, I'm looking at the brother. He look kind of young. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know, I give it a shot. So we sitting there, we talking. He asking questions. I'm listening. And next thing you know, they got to talking. They got their own inside jokes and stuff. And I'm kind of like, shit, y'all know each other? You know what I'm saying? Like, how's this working? You know, so y'all know each other, like, well, yeah, you know, I've been a member here at this church. Yeah, and I've been in. So they know each other.
Okay.
In my mind, ain't necessarily going to the point of like, y'all done smashed or something. Like, I ain't thinking nothing like that, but I'm just like, y'all know each other. Like, this is kind of unfair right now. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, so they know each other. They got a little inside jokes. Ha, he. So, brother, man, how long you been a counselor? Cause you look young, bro. Like you damn, like you must have graduated early or something. You know, how long you been? Well, brother, you know, I really ain't a counselor. I just, you know, saying the pastor ordained me to this position because he felt like this and that about my life. Okay, so you ain't no registered counselor, like you ain't got no credentials. Nah, man, I just pastor appointed me to this position. All right, so what kind of session are we in right now? Right. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, this is new marriage counseling. I said, new marriage? I said, me and her ain't married. You know what I'm saying? Oh no, I know y'all not married, but you know, we do new marriage counseling. It's kind of the same thing. It can either be for new marriage or for pre-marriage. I said, brother, we ain't either one. We ain't not even engaged. You know what I'm saying? But furthermore, how long you been married, man? Can you tell me a little bit about maybe your wife and kids? Oh, brother, I ain't married. Hey, man, listen, Tasha, I'm about to go ahead and go. Y'all can stay here. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can stay here and finish. I'm not stopping nothing about y'all discussion, but I'ma leave because Tasha, if you believe that the pastor and him and and this is of God. Nah, man, we out here being led by the blind right now, you know. So that was a wrap. We went to several other people. Then like the last one we went to, in my opinion, I feel like that's where we probably gained the most fruit from. But it was just during the period where she wasn't ready to receive truth and honesty. She just, I mean, that's the best way I can put it. Like to the point where I'm like, yeah, you know, let's go back. I ain't going back there. I don't know who she, because it was a husband and wife. She thinks she my mama. She thinks she talks to me like, she's telling you the truth and you don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? But instead of me arguing about it, fine, you don't want to go back, I respect it. And so we haven't been to another one since. You know what I'm saying? But yes, we've tried counseling. Yes, we tried therapy. Yes, we've even tried working out ourselves. But again, we got some, like, the biggest advice that I've ever gave her was, how about you go somewhere and work on you? You know what I'm saying? And I go somewhere and work on me. And when the timing is right, we'll try to work on us. And so that's what she's been doing. You know,
Do it be hard for y'all to see each other apart though?
It ain't never hard for me to see, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause I, you know what I mean? Cause I would like to believe I like living in reality, you know what I'm saying? Like, if we make it back to one another, Tasha, we good. But if we don't, our season's just up. Who, you know, 5 years from now, 10 years, maybe it might come back around. But if it's up, it's up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
No Joey Foundation. You think you know Joey? And what's his foundation?
Yeah, so No Joey Foundation, again, just like the Joey Cuss brand, I didn't come up with neither name. You know what I'm saying? Them names was came up with my partners. Kevin came up with the No Joey Foundation name. You know, so I got another homie named Matt. He came up with the whole Joey Cuts slogan or name or whatever. But yeah, No Joey was kind of came about by way of joking and playing. As a matter of fact, when we used to throw a lot of parties and promotions and stuff, my goal was to be the guy behind the scene and do this and that. And at the time, we was throwing a lot of parties, like in between myself, Kevin, Vonzel, DJ Q, Gary Mitchell. We kind of brought in Pure, and I'm not saying brought in as if we made them. I'm not taking that. I'm saying brought in because they were like younger. You know what I mean? They wanted to attract the younger demographic. We were trying to attract the older. I was trying to attract the older and family demographic. They wanted to attract the younger, professional, college, you know what I'm saying? But they came in, when Pure came to the table, it was about 15 to 20 of them, you know what I'm saying? So they was like huge. But we had all these different promoters and stuff that was around. And together we came up with this idea, we called it MEPA, M-E-P-A. That stood for Missouri Entertainers and Promoters Association. So our goal was to create this synergy and this allegiance amongst all these promoters where we can start like promoting together, working together, you know, more power and unity type thing, and start coming out with more of a strategic schedule of events, you know what I'm saying, so everybody can win, right? Well, in the process of doing that, I remember one day we was meeting at PF Chains. We in there in the meeting room, and jokingly, they would call me like the old man of the group. So jokingly, I'm like, yeah, y'all, it's cool that we throwing these parties and, you know what I'm saying, kicking it and yada, yada, yada. I'm like, but all we doing is just getting money and getting everybody drunk. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't really doing nothing of substance. Like, let's do something different. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's start giving back and let's start, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's take people a different direction. So again, that was, of course, that night, it wasn't like everybody was like, yeah, that makes sense. We sipping, eating. I'm thinking like, man, what this nigga Joey talking about, man? Come on, man. You kind of killing the vibe. Nah, man, I'm just saying for real, man. As I take a shot, nah, for real. You know what I'm saying? We need to da-da-da. You know, so we trying to hear each other out. A couple of the homies, they kind of heard me out. One thing led to another. We came up with this idea about how we was going to raise turkeys. Because it wasn't even called Turkey Tuesday back then. We wanted to do a Thanksgiving event. You know what I'm saying? So, again, me, Kevin. Do you remember the comedian back in the day? His name was Just Jay? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Just Jay, that was one of my good partners. So, Just Jay, Kevin, Q, Aaron Bond, Mario, Gary, Tressa. It probably was about 10 of us, you know. So we all kind of came together in my church at the time. We was on 71st and Prospect. Hey, pastor, you know, we 501c3, which I didn't even know what that was back then. We 501c3 and we can do free taxes and something about taxes and da. And can we use the church to do this fundraiser and have this event? And she was like, yeah, let's do it. So we ended up doing this whole event on the front of the church on the sidewalk. We got a grill going. We got hot dogs and burgers and stuff that we selling and cooking. And we in the middle of the street stopping traffic, trying to stop people, get their attention to say, hey, we raising money because we trying to make Thanksgiving possible for those in need. You know what I'm saying? And so we just did music playing. And then one thing led to another. The fire chief pull up. He like, man, what are y'all doing? Oh man, we doing woo. You know, we tell him all this exciting stuff we doing. He was like, well, yeah, what y'all doing with this grill though? I'm like, oh man, we got burgers and hot dogs cooking, da. You wanna get some? Y'all got a permit? Shit, what's that? You know what I'm saying? What's a permit? Man, a permit is da. You know what I'm saying? Well, what we need that for? You can't just be up here in the front with a fire going, cooking and that. So he kind of like scolded us. So saying all that to say, when we got done talking, by the time we got done talking to him, he was like, man, give me a couple hot dogs though, man. Here go a couple dollars. Keep up the good work, but get this stuff together. You see what I'm saying? So by that next year, we went. Like I said, Kevin came up with the name. My homegirl Ronica knew how to do all the paperwork. We ended up filing for a nonprofit and got everything rocking and rolling. And we started doing different kind of programs and community events, and that been since 2007. You know what I'm saying? So what's that? That's what, 14 years ago? You know what I'm saying? No, 2007. Sure, my math is off. How long is that?
16 years.
16 years. So yeah. So 16 years ago. Damn, 16 years ago. Right. 16 years ago, I was 24. Jesus Christ. Yeah. So at the age of 24, is like, you know, that's how long a brother been wanting to care about the community. You know what I'm saying? Because really it started at the, I guess, age of 23, 22. You know what I mean? So, but yeah. And trying to give back and do right, and you know, the No Joy Foundation itself is focused on entrepreneur development. You know what I mean? But again, we do different kind of community events like our Turkey Tuesdays, our Fresh Cut, Fresh Starts, our youth summits. You know what I mean? But our programmatic structure is focused on entrepreneur development.
Yeah. Why is it so important for you to give back to the community?
Because I took a lot away from the community. You know what I'm saying?
What you mean?
Shit. I had my little run of trying to sell little stuff. I had my little run of getting in trouble. I had my run of being hard-headed, disrespectful. I had my run of, I just had my run of doing everything that when I turned 21, bro, I went to church, and they was like, all right, come up here and say what you thankful for this and that. Like, no lie about it, I was just thankful that I wasn't dead or in jail. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because I know all the decisions and mistakes that I made, I should have been. You know what I mean? God kept me. Great family, great friends, great environment, great community around me. But I made a lot of mistakes, you know what I'm saying? And I just felt like I owed it back to my community. You know what I'm saying? Because I had so many people that poured into my life. I had so many people that wanted to intervene and lead me and direct me and guide me to, you know what I'm saying, to the right direction. I'm like, I owe down. You know what I'm saying? I owe down. You know what I mean? So that's a big part of, you know what I'm saying, like, why I've always, in my heart, chose to, like, give back is, like, let my mother tell it. She was like, Joey, you had the heart for it. I think I might have been, like, a freshman or something like that in high school. I kind of just took it upon myself to start going back to my old school. I went to Mary Homer Weeks Elementary. And even that was a lesson, bro. I remember when I went back there, my teacher's name is Kaplan. I went to her class. Hey, Miss Kaplan, can I start coming and just start hanging out maybe and talking to the kids? And she was like, yeah, that's cool. So I started coming around, and there was this little young kid in there. He had a big old head, you know what I'm saying? And that's how he stood out too. I'm like, this little dude got a big old head, you know? So I go over there playing with him and stuff, and he had some shoes that in my opinion, they was kind of raggedy. They was, you know what I'm saying? First day or two, I'm kind of just, you know, checking them out, talking with them. Finally, by about the third time or something, Cause I had already made up with my mom. I was like, I'm gonna buy him some shoes. You know what I'm saying? So I finally talked to him, like, man, you know, what size shoe you wear? You know what I'm saying? You want some new shoes? What kind of shoes you want? So he told me his size, and then Miss Kaplan heard me. So we kind of talking about the kind of shoes you want. So Miss Kaplan was like, Joey, come here. Or Joseph, you know what I'm saying? Come here. So she called me over, and she was like, did he tell you about the shoes? I was like, nah, what about him? She's like, well, go over there and talk to him and ask him who his uncle is. You know what I mean? So I go back, and I asked him about the shoes, and asked him who his uncle is. So surprisingly enough, he had an uncle. His name was DeAndre Thomas. Me and DeAndre we was in the same Miss Kaplan's class together. Well, DeAndre got killed. You know what I'm saying? And that was DeAndre's nephew. The shoes that his nephew had on was the last pair of shoes that DeAndre bought him before he got killed. So that's the reason why he was wearing the shoes. So, you know what I mean? That was kind of like one of them things where it was like, I feel like I'm here at the right time. Like, you know what I'm saying? So him and I stayed like pretty close for that year and stuff. And come to find out, he had a whole bunch of shoes, but them just the shoes that he, you know what I'm saying? But like, that was kind of like the start of me wanting to give back and me feeling like I had a point, you know what I'm saying? So then from there, we kind of just grew on it, you know? Yeah.
That shoe thing is what made me want to be a giver too. Seeing Martin on his show give them Jordans to that little kid. You remember that episode? Yeah, but that
ain't that the woman he was mocking him?
Yeah. No.
That's not that episode.
That's a whole different one. You talk about what he thought he had a son.
Yeah.
Nah, that's a whole different episode. Man, time is coming to an end.
Okay.
I appreciate you for coming out, man. I love you. I thank you for sharing this space with us. Can you leave us marked out?
Yeah, man. For whatever reason, we talked about man's lessons, change. An OG tells me all the time, it's a poor rat that got one hole to run to. You know, so what I would like to believe that means in my life is, I don't know if that sound pick up or not. What I would like to believe in my life is keep your options open. Don't believe in the theory of no new friends. You know what I mean? Keep your mind open. Keep your heart open. And make sure that you got strategic options in life. You know what I mean? And for me, majority of my strategic options came in life by others. You know, giving is living. You know what I mean? So, you know, stay open. Pay it forward, and you know all that other kind of good stuff, man. But it's a poor rat that got one hole to run to. You know what I mean? So yeah,
it's a good name too. But that's too long. What, pray us out?
Yeah. Father God, I thank you for allowing this opportunity. I thank you for allowing this chance of fellowship, the sharing and connection of wisdom being spread amongst each other. I ask that for anybody that listen to this, anybody that see or read the captions on this, I ask that you bless their life tremendously as well, as we all are trying our best to just get closer to you. I ask that you just continue to bless, bless my brother here, bless his family, bless his marriage, bless his vision, bless his podcast, bless his platform. And everything that he's trying to do, as well as what you got for him. I thank you for it all, and I ask that you forgive us for it all, whether it's things that we know and the things that we don't know. Keep us grounded, keep us humble, keep us in your grace and mercy. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Jesus' name we pray. Amen. The goal is to leave a lasting imprint on our minds and our hearts. We pray you've been indelibly marked. Appreciate it. Let me get one.